Right now, it's been 1 year since landmark case Roe versus Wade was overturned. The number of abortions then went down across the country, but they went up here in Colorado, where abortion is legal. I spoke with one person who told me they knew they had to make a big decision when they found out they were pregnant on the day that Roe was overturned. June 24th, 2022, the day that Roe versus Wade was overturned. Protests and rallies took place across the nation as people for and against the decision raised their voices. But in Mar Galvez Seminario's world, just for a moment, things fell silent.
I was holding off on taking the test because I was afraid of what that would mean.
Galvez Seminario had a feeling they were pregnant, but waited to take a test, hoping their feeling wasn't a reality.
I found out when the Dobbs decision was made. It's because when that happened, I just had to know, so I took the test, and that's when I found out.
Galvez Seminario has always paid close attention to abortion laws as a reproductive rights activist. Finding out about their pregnancy on the day that Roe was overturned made that activism feel even more personal.
I never want to be pregnant, just personally. I want to be a parent, but I never want to be pregnant. And I knew immediately that I needed an abortion.
As the number of people receiving abortions in Colorado increased, Galvez Seminario found it difficult to get an in-person appointment for abortion pills within their preferred time frame. Even though Galvez Seminario was a Colorado resident, they ended up settling for a completely online service instead.
At that time, honestly, what I needed was just any sort of human contact in general, and for something so emotionally heavy as an abortion.
Aria Bolaños Perea is with the Colorado Organization for Latina Opportunity and Reproductive Rights. The organization has been instrumental in the passage of reproductive health bills in Colorado. Bolaños Perea says clinicians in the state are doing their best to manage the increase in people seeking abortion care.
When I get asked, well, we're seeing this increase of patients in Colorado, what does this mean? It really means we have a very successful infrastructure of care in this state, that we are able to see so many patients, but our clinicians and our doctors definitely need some support.
Colorado prepared for the overturning of Roe v. Wade by codifying the Reproductive Health Equity Act in 2022. It declares every pregnant individual has a fundamental right to have an abortion under the laws of the state. In 2023, 3 bills passed strengthening those protections. Senate Bill 188 protects abortion patients and providers in Colorado from penalties from other states. Senate Bill 189 expands health insurance coverage for abortion. Senate Bill 190 prohibits deceptive advertising and the use of abortion reversal pills in crisis pregnancy centers. While the state of Colorado has established abortion protections, attorney Kiki Counsel with the Lawyering Project says there is more work to be done across the country.
Currently, 13 states have outright banned abortion. We predict, legal experts across the states predict that up to 26 states will either ban or severely restrict abortion access. What we're seeing is a disproportionate impact, again, like I said, on women of color, on people that are at or below the poverty line, on disabled individuals, and on people who are veterans.
With that in mind, Galvez Seminario plans to continue their activism so others can have the freedom to make the choice that they did.
I know that I personally am not ready to be a parent at 23. I think if I had not gotten the abortion, my life would have drastically changed.
Now, while the number of legal abortions overall decreased, the number of legal abortions from virtual-only services went up by more than 100%, comparing April and December of 2022. We also spoke with Will Duffy with Colorado Right to Life for his feedback on the anniversary of the overturning of Roe versus Wade.
Roe v. Wade being overturned was historic, but this is a human rights issue, which means it cannot be a states' rights issue. No state has the right to deprive anyone of life, including the unborn, without due process of law. Slavery was legal, but that didn't make it right. The same goes for abortion. The science is settled. Abortion is the intentional killing of a unique human being, and killing an innocent person, even if it's before they are born, is wrong no matter what the law says. So abortion must be stopped.
And yesterday, Colorado Representative Diana DeGette sent out this tweet saying, in part, every woman should have the freedom to make her own healthcare decisions. We are redoubling our efforts to restore Americans' right to abortion care. We will not back down. We will not go back.